Hey, Cary, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too.
We made it to the end of the week. I've been looking forward to this all week, truthfully, since we have it scheduled on a Friday. I love it.
I know I've had those Friday brain vibes.
I 100%, and I'm in New York, so it's 4 o'clock and it's like starting to get dark out, which to me it's just like it's totally changed like my sense of like what's the end of the day, because it's not the end of the day necessarily. It just the darkness makes it feel like that.
I know. I always feel so time poor when we have to like step back.
Yes.
Ooh, we gained the hour. It's amazing. And
Yep.
then it gets dark super fast. Is it a little echoey in here or
A little bit, but I think it's fine.
okay. I'm
No.
gonna open the door really quick. Can I will be
Perfect. Go for it.
and there is no door here.
It's all good. It's such a pretty background.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And to everyone joining at home, thank you guys. My name is Meg Storm, and I'm the editorial director here at EDIT. And I'm really excited to be talking today about a topic that I personally love in skincare, and I feel like it's one of the most talked about ingredients in skincare, and that is vitamin C. And it's awesome because we're being joined today by someone who is a true expert in that space, and that is Cary Lin. And Cary is the founder and CEO, co-founder and CEO of Common Heir, which, if you're not familiar, is a really amazing beauty brand that focuses on clean products and plastic-free products and high-performance products, which I think at this point in time, really, I hope is the future of the beauty industry. But you guys really are ahead of the curve there. And I think one of the things that I find most impressive is that your first product and your hero SKU is a vitamin C product, which I don't know how many people know this, but that's a really difficult ingredient to formulate with. But you guys have managed to do it in a way that I think is groundbreaking, and I don't use that term lightly. But it's clear, it doesn't smell, it pretty much challenges everything you think you know about vitamin C. And it's also housed in single dose biodegradable vegan capsules, which is also amazing. And we're going to dive into all of this. But Cary, would you mind kind of introducing yourself before we as we get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be here chatting with you all. I'm Cary. As Meg mentioned, I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Common Heir, spelled H-E-I-R. I think for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to out for folks.
Always.
We set out to do when we launched earlier this year in April, so we're a new brand on the block, is to redefine your top shelf beauty classics with a luxe meets sustainable twist. And for our products, we wanted to be high performance meets plastic free. And yeah, I have spent my last some odd years, who's counting, of my career in beauty and consumer goods. And for me and my co-founder just thought that the best way to push forward with where we wanted our efficacy in our products, but also bringing clean to the next level with sort of challenging the notion of sustainability beyond plastic packaging, pumps, bottles, and all the waste in our industry. That became the vision that we were obsessed with solving. And
Yep.
We launched our vitamin C serum this year. We have just the one product so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could talk about vitamin C serum all day. So
That's what we're going to do. I love it. Well, to everyone watching, if you guys have questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments as we go, and we will do our best to answer them. But I think where I wanted to start, and Cary and I kind of had a conversation a couple weeks ago as we were prepping for this, and she said something that has stuck with me ever since, which is that vitamin C is a lot like a chocolate chip cookie. And I feel like that is a really fun place to start, because there are so many facets to vitamin C to talk about. And you guys, what I really feel like you're debunking a lot of what we've come to think of as common knowledge around vitamin C, which is the smell and maybe the irritation and the color and just kind of the finickiness of the way it's packaged and the way you have to use it and how quickly you have to use it. So Cary, to start, I know you guys were very specific in what type of vitamin C you chose to formulate with in your product, and you guys chose THD ascorbate. And I was wondering if we could kind of start there with why you guys made that choice and how that kind of factors into why this product is so nice to use.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first sort of path down, to where we eventually ended up using THC ascorbate as our form of vitamin C was just really doing a lot of research with our community members on what they liked and didn't like about their vitamin C experience. So for me, I had used, some of the usual suspects in the vitamin C world and the, clean pharmaceuticals to like your like high-end sort of like drug and specialty store vitamin C serum. For me, what was always a pain point was the fact that I would invest so much in these products and find that they would be expired in a couple of days. Oh, do you need me to move? They would be expired, or they would smell or go bad. Them, and the experience would smell like bacon, or it would sting and have that Listerine effect on your skin. And my co-founder also, she has 8+ years of clean and indie beauty manufacturing experience. She's built multiple vitamin C formulas for other brands, but she herself wasn't a user for these very reasons.
Got it.
A lot of traditional vitamin C formulations are made with L-ascorbic acid. And so in order to have its optimal efficacy, it actually needs to be on a lower end or more acidic pH level than where your skin normally is at. That's why that stinging, that's why you get that irritation. And so when we were, sharing our experiences with our community and hearing what they were sharing back to us, we realized that in order to have that sort of ultimate potency meets plastic-free promise, we actually had to use a different form of a vitamin C called a derivative. So THD stands for tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate. So oil-soluble vitamin C derivative versus L-ascorbic acid that's very water-soluble.
Right.
And by being oil-soluble, actually, it can penetrate more deeply because our skin is obviously layers of fatty acids, right? And so it allows you to kind of like have that go deeper into the skin and also not have that irritation that we like wanted to avoid so much with the product. And so when we saw the sort of clinical performance of our Common Heir sort of THD based formula, we were just really pleased with it and with the overall sort of texture. We wanted to be smooth, that didn't have any silicones, that was going to play well. It's a daytime product for a lot of people, right? Layer it, or at least I layer it over like a toner if I'm using one that day and before and then if you're putting face makeup on, you want to make sure you're not creating something that is going to pill on that canvas, that is going to just not play well with the other skincare steps. And so that was, again, also really important to us from a formulation perspective. So we wanted a silky, smooth, chewy cookie with big chocolate chunks, and to hit that ratio of like chocolate to dough that I know we all, have our own preferences for. I say it's a lot like baking a cookie.
Totally. No, and I think that you guys manage, it's a personal preference, but I feel like you guys manage to like cover everyone's preferences with this formula, because to your point, it really is super silky smooth, really easy to layer, really easy to put on. It's clear. So is that because of the fact that you guys are using the THD, is that what makes it clear?
It doesn't have that yellow color that is associated with, L-ascorbic acid.
Yeah, which I feel like one of the things that you always get thrown off with some of the L-ascorbic acid products is that it goes from like golden to orange to brown as it oxidates, and you're like, am I supposed to still be using this? So you guys kind of take the guesswork out of that in a lot of ways, and you also do that by the fact that each dose is individually packaged, so to speak. And so how did you guys kind of decide to go that plastic-free route with the way that you packaged this product?
Yeah, so I think the dosing was something that ended up being a wonderful sort of side effect that like increased like the enjoyment of the experience, because a lot of folks, when we did that community survey, they told us that they were pretty confused about how much to use. Did they use a full dropper? If it was a dropper product, how many And so we just wanted to do and like basically take on the thinking for you. It's perfectly dosed to our formula, and we just put enough for most folks' face and neck, because people often forget that
I
this
know.
is part of
This
it.
all matters.
So we just wanted to just kind of like make it really easy to not have to wonder about, am I using too much? How much am I using? And that was part of it. And I think
Yeah.
I mean, you said it earlier, like your vitamin C serum changes color, right? So sometimes you put it against a white sheet of paper, you're like, is this in the okay yellow zone?
Yes.
And for us, it was like the fact that vitamin C also is so unstable, right? It just,
Yeah.
I mean, because it's an antioxidant, which is why we love it so much, right?
Right.
Oxidizes with air, light, UV exposure. You know, so much of what a lot of traditional L-ascorbic acid formulas do is that they put things in the formula that are meant not for your skin, but to make the vitamin C just kind of behave.
Right.
So part of what we wanted to do also was to use the capsule to actually protect the formula, to do what plastic packaging was designed to do.
Yeah.
And be able to kind of keep it really potent so that it's at its absolute freshest when you're using it. And our shelf life actually is 18 months, which is
Amazing.
2 to 3 times as long as your sort of
Yes.
average formula. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you get a 60 capsules in the packaging, like in the carton, correct? So it's about it's a 60-day supply.
Yeah, it's about like if you're using it every day, if you're as religious about it as I am,
Yep.
month supply, which I think is, you know, a pretty reasonable deal for how much people invest in, you know, your serums and your treatments. Like if there is a spot to invest, like, right, this is the place.
This is the one. Yeah, for sure. And so you guys chose a 10% concentration of vitamin C, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And what was the reasoning for that? Was that kind of what I know you guys did a lot of clinical research and there was a lot of data kind of behind the way you guys formulated this.
Yeah, I think, you know, there is um like a trade-off between how much of something you put in it and how it feels.
Right.
That's why we kind of took it to the community. Our very first prototype that we kind of put together to them was very, very different. It had a 20% load, and it was so potent, but also so stinging.
Yeah.
And I realized that, like, it's cool to have an arms race over the percentage of something. The truth is that if it creates such a, the trade-off comes at like an aesthetic compromise, like it
Yes.
stays too oily or it's too heavy, you're not going to want to use it. So since vitamin C is something that really, you know, over time, with consistent use over, say, 28 days or several weeks at least, we wanted to have something that you were going to look forward to using, right? While sort of balancing that with like a very strong concentration of something that was going to give you the results that you love. And so 10% ended up being the sweet spot between delivering that sort of pigmentation fading, dark spot fading, sort of fine line and wrinkle improvement without like making the formula too heavy, too oily, or you know, just not fun to use, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, it makes total sense. And I think that, you know, there is that arms race and everyone thinks you need a higher number on the bottle to make it worthwhile. And the reality is that's not true. And I think a well-formulated product delivers the results you need and doesn't have to irritate your skin or cause any of those side effects that I think sometimes we're like lulled into thinking is what you need to feel like a product is working. And that's just not the case.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's one of the things that I would love to kind of hear from the edit community, which is like, you know, do consumers really understand what the percentage means? Because different percents of different things are not apples to apples, right?
Right.
So 10% of our formulation is not going to behave the same as 10% of a different type of vitamin C derivative. So
Yeah.
I think for us, we put it there because it's the question that we get asked a lot, right? Oh, it's a vitamin C serum. Oh, what percentage is it? So we want to be transparent about like the fact that 10% of the volume of this formula is our active, but we also wanted to be really mindful of the fact that like we're not putting it as a comparative against other vitamin C's because they're just really apples to oranges. They're not apples to apples, but
Absolutely.
committed to being as open about sort of our concentration and active level as much as possible, because, you know, people deserve to know how much they're getting.
They do. I also, I mean, I told you this the first time we spoke, but you guys, I feel like, take transparency to another level in terms of just taking the time to do the education piece as well, of not just telling people what's in the product and how much of it's in the product, but actually breaking down what those ingredients do, what the EWG score is. Was that all kind of part of your mission from the beginning, of just trying to kind of change the way that beauty is presented to the consumer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both my co-founder Angela and I hail from, you know, clean beauty background.
Yeah.
Two of us combined, we have like 15 years of experience, and to us it was just obvious that we should provide that information. So on our site, which not everyone sees, but it's there. If you scroll down to the product page, we talk about and break down every single ingredient, what its purpose is in the formula, right? Like, why do we have this, and why, where it's from, whether it's, you know, synthetic in origin or if it comes from a certain type of plant, and also its EWG rating. And that way we've just been really, really transparent about it, just because we do the homework, certainly, and we know people that care will find that information there. So that's why we include it.
Yeah, nope. Well, I appreciate it, because at Edit, we say that we do the homework too. So we always appreciate brands that have that similar kind of mission. And I guess moving on to the kind of benefits of vitamin C, we started talking about it. It acts as an antioxidant, which is the reason why we love it so much, especially the reason why we love it so much for daytime. But I mean, I think thinking about general buckets of what we come to think of vitamin C doing, it's brightening, it's protecting you from free radical damage as a result of those antioxidant properties, and it's improving your skin tone and texture. And I know you guys did some clinical studies with your product to kind of find how it hit some of those categories and those benefits.
Yeah, I think, you know, part of the reason why we started Common Heir with just one product, you know, and that product being a vitamin C, is because of the universal benefits. Like, it doesn't discriminate against a certain type of skin or a certain, you know, like pigment level. Is just one of those things that is like generally like all the benefits that people want.
Yep.
That you said earlier, improve skin texture, evening of skin tone, and how it works at a cellular level in terms of like, you know, helping to stimulate collagen production or improve our elastin. So that's why we really wanted to focus on this first. And also, it happened to be the product, like I said earlier, that had the most amount of bad experiences, right? Over again, like, I know I should be using it. I see the headlines, like 10 reasons you should be using a vitamin C. I just don't know which one. There's so many at all the different price points, and and kind of sticky, or they smell. And so it was this total imbalance between, I want these benefits, I don't like the experience. And so that was why we kind of, you know, like settled on this. Plus the fact that our capsules would actually add a lot of value to making it stable, you know, helping really protect the benefits of everything that vitamin C is supposed to do for your skin, including, at least for me personally, as someone who has like Asian skin, it's very prone to dark spots, especially when I get, you know, little hormonal acne marks once in a while. Like, you know, it likes to leave a little love note behind, or some form of a spot. So I'm like, thank you, that's very nice, but you know, helps me sort of like maintain and keep the entire skin even without worrying, you know, that it's going to bleach parts of it, or, you know, create like more sort of uneven skin tone and texture. At least for me, that's why I was very drawn to vitamin C, and it sort of is both, it helps treat and it also helps prevent. And I think prevention is definitely a lot easier than treating something. And for me, it's like my daily sort of like, almost like a multivitamin that you take for your own health. It's like, I mean, it's literally a vitamin that is like awesome for your skin. So
No, I mean, obviously at Edit, we also talk a lot about the procedures you can do in office. And I feel like the universal feedback from doctors and surgeons is anything you can do to not have to come to us, anything you can do to keep your skin in the best shape you can is obviously easier and preferred over trying to correct that damage. And I feel like vitamin C, other than sunscreen, it's really one of those ingredients that's really kind of doing both. There's such the prevention element to it, and it actually really does complement your sunscreen. Also, you see there's been research into how antioxidants kind of improve the benefits of sunscreen when layered. So there's, I feel like, a lot of reasons to be using it, to your point, and it doesn't discriminate. It's really great for everyone. And the benefits it gives, I think, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't want better skin tone and texture. I feel like that's like the universal request.
I'm so happy that recently everyone's gone on the sunscreen train, right?
Finally.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, even my husband, he knows he has to wear sunscreen now.
That's a big one because men, I feel like compliance with men is still a little bit lagging, but I'm glad he has you to nag him on that one.
Well, you know what's really funny is our vitamin C serum actually won a Men's Health Award earlier.
Love that. That's awesome.
That I didn't even know, but I think, it's for men too, right? Like men also want like
Yes.
full like stimulating collagen production benefits or like even skin tone and texture. And when the world opens up again, something that's super travel friendly and you just
Yes.
kind of too hard about bringing it with you and plays well with vitamin C. Vitamin C plays super well with sunscreen in terms of like boosting the antioxidant benefits when you're out in the sun and getting that exposure. So
For sure.
Peloton or Pilates for your skin. I don't know.
I love that.
Thought of that. I'm going to get a call from Peloton corporate saying I can do that, but
I'm like here for that analogy though. I feel like that's like that's the right way to put it. And then I know you guys have some other great ingredients in this product to complement the vitamin C. I believe vitamin E is one of them, correct? And are there some others that you guys chose to kind of pair with the vitamin C to really maximize its impact?
yeah, I think a lot of people know about the vitamin C and E like dream team,
Yep.
the Bonnie and Clyde of antioxidants. And what we also put in there, which I feel like doesn't get enough shine because there's so much focus on the active, is we actually used a really novel blend of botanical derived extracts that also are known to boost sort of those like brightening benefits specific.
Yes.
So we use, for example, licorice root. Licorice has obviously, I think, gotten a great reputation for being a good complement in terms of like a brightening booster.
Yes.
So with that, and we also include actually marshmallow root to help skin and so just kind of give it a little bit of that sort of calm feeling that you kind of want your serums to leave you with, right? You don't want that like feeling of it made my skin red or it felt very irritating. So that's in there as well to just kind of create a very balanced sort of brightening complement to what vitamin C does so well.
For sure. No, I love that. And I think it kind of helps just make it as holistic as possible in terms of what you want to put on your skin. And so I know we've obviously been talking about it mostly as a great daytime product, primarily because of all the benefits it has for helping just with further sun protection. Do some people like to use this product at night as well, or do you guys mostly recommend it for daytime?
Yeah, I think I personally in my routine use it during the day in part because of that extra sort of pairing benefit with.
Yes.
But I do think that a lot of folks that are just getting started with vitamin C, they don't perfectly have a serum in their routine yet, or they're using something during the day that like would be too much to include vitamin C on top of it.
Yep.
They like to use it at night as well. So I would say for those folks who have like, who are just getting started in serums, it's like a more emollient sort of
Yes.
based formula, and while it sinks in and absorbs, a lot of folks actually like using it at night, especially if they're already using it during the day. But for me, I use like retinol or other types of ingredients at night. So for me,
Yep.
I use it during the day.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I know you said this is an oil soluble version of vitamin C with the THC. If you have oily skin, I mean, I speak from experience. I have oily skin. I love the way this product feels. But does anyone with more oily skin ever say that it's a little too emollient for them, or is it great for most skin types?
Yeah, I think, we designed it to be like really ideal and suitable for all skin types. I think obviously our customers that have the drier skin or live in a drier climate, like here in LA, it is very,
Yeah.
very kind of soaks it up. I would say for like very, very oily, acne prone skin, it can, if you are applying it directly onto dry skin that doesn't have a little bit of dampness from just water, bit of a toner, it can be a little bit more, it's just going to be more emollient than like a water-based sort of L-ascorbic acid formula. That's just the way that we built it. So it can be a little bit more. But like I said, it plays well with others. It works well under a very mattifying moisturizer, under other types of skincare. You can either boost the glow or just kind of tone it down depending on what you're layering. I think that if you are really, really oily prone, we actually have a 7-day sort of like mini.
Yeah.
I think we're very close to stocking out. Actually, we just have like a few left.
Yeah.
But a little holiday 7-day sample that you can go try.
Oh, amazing.
For yourself, so you don't have to like take the investment into the 60 days supply right away without figuring out whether or not the texture of it is going to work for you.
For sure.
One of our most requested features off of our community wish list was to just kind of have like a little baby.
Yeah.
I was on me because it's super cute.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I think that for those that are like, I'm not sure how this texture is going to work. Yep. Hello?
Are you there? Okay. Now you're back. You paused for 1 second. Sorry. So I loved what you said though about the kind of putting it on your skin when your skin is a little damp, because I think that is sometimes a forgotten kind of trick of just applying any skincare in general, because once you apply a toner right after you wash your face, you kind of have this like amazing window where your skin is ready to absorb whatever you put on it. And if you're not putting stuff on your skin, you might be losing some of that moisture. So I like the idea of kind of putting on the toner, having your skin be a little damp, and then kind of letting this soak right in is awesome.
Yeah, I think it'll really just kind of help lock in that extra sort of moisture, right? Because the skin gets drinking or putting it in face. It can't create water on its own. So this just kind of helps it, prevent any moisture loss as well.
For sure. And then in terms of kind of seasonality, is this something that you guys recommend people use all year round?
Yeah, I mean, I have used it, since its early prototype days, like all days, all seasons. The only days I'll skip a vitamin C is if, I feel like I want to use another product in there. But yeah, we designed it to be used 365 and a quarter days per year.
Love that. Well, thank you so much, Cary, for your time today. It was so fun to talk to you about this. And to everyone watching at home, we're going to be saving this video like we always do to our feed, but we're also actually going to be writing an article for the edition where we break down all of the great stuff that we talked about today. So you can either rewatch it here, or we'll have it on the edition as well and be sharing that story next week. But in the meantime, you can follow Common Heir and get a better sense of all the amazing things that they're doing. And it's at Common Heir. And like Cary said, Heir is spelled H-E-I-R, which at Edit with an A, we're constantly telling people how to pronounce our name. So I fully understand where you're coming from on the, you're going to spend your rest of your life explaining it.
If I ever am on a podcast or whatever, I'm like, it's Common Heir, H-E-I-R. I mean, the idea is to just pass down, the next classic big beauty ritual that we're going to feel good about, feeling about. So that's why we called it Common Heir.
Well, you guys are well on your way to doing that. And again, I so appreciate your time on this Friday heading into the weekend. And to everyone who joined us at home, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Bye, guys.
Bye.